Doobyis.
Oh, yes, sir. All right, so welcome aboard, everybody. This is Fly in Formation. My name is Doobyis. I talk to artists from across the country every week to just kind of tap in, learn more about them and the scenes that they're part of. Here with me today is King Jus. We got the chance to slap hands, I don't know, 2 months ago, something like that now. You were over here in Lethbridge, made the trip out.
Yes, sir.
How you doing,
nice
man?
seeing you out. Yeah, I'm blessed, man. It's
Yeah.
nice seeing you out at that show, too. That was blessed.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm always happy to see hip hop acts coming through in a small little, market like Lethbridge or whatever. So, big ups for you guys for coming out this way. I know it's a long ass trip to get out to Alberta, and a lot of people just skip over it, man. A lot of people they'll do like a show or two out in BC and then like fly over top of Alberta and Saskatchewan and Manitoba, go right back to Toronto.
Yo, it's nice. It's nice out there, bro.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
it's nice out there. It's a different vibe out there.
It's beautiful.
That
country.
vibe out there reminds me of what Toronto used to be like back in the day, Yeah.
Like how so?
Well, people more just supporting the live thing and just the support, people supporting each other, coming out to the events and actually like enjoying themselves,
Yeah,
dancing, rocking to it. Like, you can see that they really appreciate the music,
Yeah, well, everybody probably has the same mentality that I do, man. When people come through, you got to get out and appreciate them. Honestly, I was a little bit choked with everybody because fucking there were, a couple locals that were opening things up for you guys, and then everybody kind of cleared out for smoke after one dude's set.
Yeah.
And apparently there was some fight or some shit outside, so venue cleared right out or whatever.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
but
man.
Still,
that happens.
That's hip hop,
For real. Well, and I was talking to another guy from that show. Like the last interview I did was with Young Prince Beats, and he was another guy who performed there. And he said, like, I'm new here in town. I didn't know what was about to go down when guys start fighting out front. He said, like, I didn't know who's gonna do what, so I just took off. I was like, all right, yeah, fair enough.
It was crazy, man.
Don't be too safe or whatever. Yeah.
Hey, it could happen anywhere, right?
For real, man. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. Take nothing or no one for granted.
People take this hip hop shit serious, right? And people take their street fucking lives serious. So if toes get stepped on, you never know what's about to go down.
Yeah,
whether
it's one and the same,
small town or not. Yeah, for real.
Hip hop is the street.
Yeah, man, for real. So, dude, do you want to talk about the last album that you dropped kind of late 2023, the Work Hard 2 Retroactive?
Part 2 Retroactive, yeah, with my homie Fresh Kils.
Hell yeah. So I'm actually rocking the shirt right now. Pick that up at the concert.
Respect. The tour tee.
Yeah, for sure, man. Merch is so important. People got to buy the merch, man. People
gotta support the artists,
For real. So
support the artists.
I looked at your Spotify, man, and I noticed that there was a track called Work Hard from 2021. Can you tell me how you went from just doing that one track to Work Hard being an entire album, number 2, the Retroactive?
Yeah, like the whole thing about the Retroactive is Work Hard was an EP that we released in 2013. It had 6 joints on it.
Oh, okay. So way back, decade ago. Okay.
Yeah. So then, I went through a bunch of shit in life, and I wasn't really rapping for a minute. Some more dealing with life,
That happens, man. Yeah, I think that's a very popular story for indie artists across the map. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the real shit, right?
For real.
And then, so after I made a couple transitions through whatever was going on, I decided to just jump back in it. And fortunately, Kils was like, yo, let's put out, some other stuff that we have that nobody's heard. And we'll just add it to the EP, because we didn't really push the EP hard like that either. Like anybody that knows Kils knows that he's like super busy touring all the time. And, so, the two of us at that time, the shit was happening with me. He was still rolling heavy. So then I jumped back in it, did the rest of the tunes, and then we just released that.
So were some of the tunes then from like the sessions that you guys did for the 2013, or had you been just kind of chipping away over the years? Yeah,
there's six tracks on Retroactive are from the EP.
Okay.
And then we just added a bunch more songs. There's like 12 songs on the album.
Right. Nice.
Yeah. So So we're promoing that, and that's where we went on the tour. Just I was just getting my chops back up, and then just continued writing a ton. And I'm producing my own album, um, which is 23 tracks I have now, but I'm not going to
Damn.
release 23 tracks like that for the album.
Yeah.
And I have more tracks, like, because I produce as well, right? I got a production company called In the Chair Productions with a Z.
Okay, yeah. Kils just mentioned to me the other day that you were working on like a self-produced album, and then it would be your first self-produced album coming up.
Yeah.
So I definitely wanted to ask you about that too, man. While we're still talking about Kils, though, can I ask you, like, how long have you guys known each other? Do you guys go way back, or?
I know Kils for more than 20 years, man.
Nice. Okay, so had you performed with him quite a bit? Because when you guys came out here, like, performing with a guy who's drumming the beats out with you on stage on his MPC, that's got to be a little bit different than even just performing with a DJ spinning your beats, and especially different than just, hitting play on a laptop or whatever and going to it on your own. So, like, is it a well-practiced dynamic that you guys have on stage?
Yeah, definitely. It's more of like a live vibe, because Kils, he's trained as well in, music theory. I myself know some music theory because I played instruments as a kid.
Nice.
I played the tenor sax, I played the trumpet, I played the drums.
We're gonna hear some of those live instruments on your upcoming project then?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I basically program them in now, but I program them in with that same live feel.
Right. Yeah.
But getting back to Kils, like, he's not just a producer. He's musically sound in many different ways, like technically, because he's an engineer as well. He writes songs, he performs on the MPC. It's like an instrument. So when you're dealing with that and the live lyrics, we're dealing with, what key is the song in? And if we're going to change the key and go into a different song, then he's got to work all that out and upload everything. And, now we have DJ Versatile with us, who's another technical genius when it comes to the turntablism and all that, right? So it's like a three-headed monster. But we do a lot of rehearsals. We don't take it lightly. We always rehearse. And me personally, I only spit my own shit. I'm rehearsing every day, all day, all my songs, old ones, new ones.
Nice.
Yeah. So
it takes a lot to keep memories of lyrics fresh or whatever, right? Like if you have songs from a while back and you're writing new ones, especially, it's tough to keep the old ones still locked in or whatever.
It was a challenge a few times because, for the tour, we had like 7 different show like lists. You know what I'm saying? Usually it's one show, you just go and perform it over and over.
Same thing every night, yeah.
Yeah, but we had a couple live performances as well. We went into the studio called Chill Kill Studios. Shout out to Chill Kill Studios out in Calgary.
Nice, yeah.
Jenny and the crew, right?
Yeah, you guys did a live session, right?
Yeah, we did a live session of one of the tracks I produced, Humble. And it was performed live with the Fresh Kils trio, which, that's another beast within itself. Like Fresh Kils with live elements, live instruments, a keyboardist.
Right, and different musicians depending where he's performing or whatever.
Yeah, he's got to set it up, right? If he's going to a different city, he's got to hire the top musicians in that city is what he looks for, and puts the Fresh Kils trio thing together. And it's a great thing. I mean, Fresh Kils plays the MPC with his face. I don't know. If there's much more I can say about him, man. Like, if you know him, you know him. If you don't, then man, I'm sorry for you.
It was a hell of a live show, man. I was glad to get to take that in when you guys came
through.
That
shit.
Yeah, man. So, how much touring have you done in the past, dude? Like, had you been out to Alberta before then?
No, I've mostly opened and rolled with touring acts. Like, I'm talking before Spotify and all that shit, right? Ice Cube, Cypress Hill, Busta Rhymes, Pumpkinhead, AZ.
Nice.
The list goes on. I was rolling with Just Entertainment, and Brent Smith was managing me and Alex Dimes at that time. And we released an album So I had Ambassador on one side, which was my single, and Alex Dimes had All Out on the other side.
Okay.
So we ran with that. And yeah, it was really there. There was a lot of work there. Like Brent Smith, really showed me about getting ready to put a single out. And it was different back then. Like we had to do 50 drops, radio drops,
Right.
DJs. We may not know the DJs, but Brent knows them. And, it's sort of that relationship. So we got to do, there's a studio session when it's just doing call letters, and
Yeah.
you're gonna have to change up the lingo every now and then, and it just becomes a different thing, right?
DJ stuff, like sending out actually to all the different college DJs used to be, I feel like, more important than it is now. Some people still do it. I appreciate the people who do send music over or whatever, but yeah, man, it seems like a different beast. I see a lot of DJs complaining about how, like, oh, we don't get music sent to us, so how the fuck are we supposed to play it? And I'm like, you're supposed to buy it. It costs 99 cents, man. Fucking keep your ear to the streets and tap in and buy some shit when it comes out. It's not gonna break the bank, really, but
Yeah, but at the same time, it's good to keep that muscle memory going.
Yeah.
And if you're an independent artist, it's important to make those relationships.
Definitely,
so
man.
sending in your track, and it's more work now, definitely, because the radio stations don't provide the DJ's contact info.
Yeah.
But you got to go on IG, find it, message them. It's work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's unless you're signed to a major label, it's work, and you got to put in as much work as possible. Like Kils, I seen them setting up the tour, and I've never really been on that side of it, setting it up, right? So
Right.
you watch them set it up and put out all these fires and dealing with all these different, things that are popping up real time and having to deal with it. And, everything is a balance, right? Keeping the books in check because we're on tour. So we got to make sure that everything is copacetic. So
that it makes sense.
And,
Yeah.
booking extra things while we're out there. Like, a TED Talk type thing, right? Kils did a
Right. Yeah. Here at the Lethbridge University or whatever.
He did it at MVMA Studios out there.
Okay.
In Edmonton. So it was like a touring and booking thing for independent artists. So also got a lot of information from that.
Yeah.
Because he's my homie, but he's done a lot. Like he's a touring musician that's been doing it, booking his own shit for the most part for 20 plus years. He's still out there. He's still relevant. He's so it's something to see the machine in motion.
Yeah, for real. Is it kind of has it been like a help being around him as you transition? Because you mentioned that you used to have a manager. So, but as you transition over to kind of independently promoting and independently managing yourself, I assume, right?
Yeah. It's always been a lot, but now it's even more, right? Because the artist is expected to do more. It's not just making and writing the music anymore. So, you write it, you produce it. In my case, I'll write it, produce it, engineer it. I got a lot of help from Kils and my homie TQ and Taiwa, my mentors for the engineering thing. Because I just wanted to do that. I just wanted to be able to make the music I wanted and make it sound like I wanted to sound. And I just wanted to really dive into the technical aspects of sound and frequencies and, do the thing proper. Like you have a sound and then you recreate what you have in your head and then you give it to the people and, hopefully they receive it, which is the same thing as writing a song, right?
Yeah. So now taking a little bit more full creative control, really, than if you're engineering yourself and making the beats yourself. And yeah, man. So for your recording sessions, are you actually like home recording or where you been?
I'm recording at Kils.
Okay, nice.
Recording at Kils. I'll produce them at my spot and then I'll take them over there and record, right? Because I've been recording with Kils the entire time. Like it's rare that another engineer will record me. You understand?
Yeah, nice.
Because I could just record myself, and when I'm not recording myself, sometimes I don't want to do it, because I'm already doing so much. So it's good to have somebody that you trust. So you could be like, yo,
that's
can we record this?
Is having somebody you trust engineer for you goes so far compared to like, I think there's a lot of freedom that comes with recording yourself because you don't feel somebody over your shoulder like, how many takes is this motherfucker going to do over there or whatever, you know, those kind of feelings. And also, you know, you're not necessarily paying the hourly rate if you're kind of recording yourself or whatever. So I think there's freedom in that, but at the same time, it's just an added hassle, right? Like I know when I'm recording myself, you got to set up the loop and just jump in and do takes on a loop until it fucking works out or whatever, you know? Yeah.
And it's not only that, but creatively, you know, when one is a producer and not just a beat maker.
There you go. Yeah.
And you have music theory knowledge and, you know, the lyrics have to sound a certain way. And with me, I sing and I rap, I sort of combine it. So, you know, Kils pushed me a lot with the singing because I didn't really want to, like, yeah, I can sing, but I'm not really a singer like that. I don't want to present myself like that. He's like, yo, you can sing, man. Let's do it up. So, you know, he's giving me all the harmonies that he needs to hit and he's going to layer them up. And I learned a lot from just that process, right? So again, it's helpful. It's helpful because I've recorded myself as well, just like you're saying, you jump in and, you know, you record it, then you can listen to it. Maybe you're going to go back and change something and listen to it a few times. But, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that either. That's also part of the process, right? You could be finished a song and then go and remix it.
Yeah,
you know,
but if you've got actual musician homies who really love the craft and know the craft,
then you do it right then and there.
Yeah,
right? You bang it out and you keep it moving.
Yeah,
right? And you don't take, you know, we don't take anything personal. If it's not good, it's not good. You know, we're there to serve the music, and it's not really about any egos or anything. You know, we never really get into it about anything creative.
Yeah,
like we get into it about other shit, but not usually anything creative. Like, you know, because I respect his gangster as a, you know, as a producer, not just, you know, a beat maker as well, because he makes dope beats, but, you know, a producer who, you know, see him working with singers, rappers, voiceover people, you know what I mean? So it's just more about,
I know a lot of MCs are real touchy when it comes to people making suggestions about their bars or about their delivery or whatever, right? Like it can get tricky when, you know, I've got a new artist and I'm trying to record them and it's like, how hard do I push to get this guy to change that bar or like to get him to change that delivery? Because I don't know if he really trusts me enough and I don't want to just sour a relationship by being like, no, you should do it this way, right? But if you've known somebody for 20 years or whatever and been homies and you both respect each other's craft like that, then I think it becomes easier to make those suggestions and, you know, be receptive to those suggestions too, right?
Yeah. And then there's the other thing that you're explaining, and sometimes you just have to get it done as the producer, right? You have to, you know, maybe allow them to do it the way they want to do it, but then have them agree to do it the way you're suggesting as well.
Yeah.
That way, you know, because you try your best, right? But again, you're trying to serve the best interests of the music and not really an individual. But you're right, it is tricky with artists because artists are emotional for the most part. Like, we're not going to admit it like that, but it's true. Like you know, any artist, a painter, you know, you before you share your wares with the world, you think about it and you contemplate, you know, you compare yourself to other pieces of art and other artists that are out there that are maybe renowned, and you're like, man, can my shit stand up to theirs? Like, does it even make sense for me to drop my little pebble into this, you know, monolith of like artwork? But yeah, it is. Like, everybody has their own story. You know, you could give 5 producers the same sample, you're gonna get 5 different beats.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Well, you should.
And agreed. I think with emceeing especially, like, there's so many like I statements, and it's such a personal art like that, like personal expression, that I think that's what kind of leads to so many people being like real standoffish if somebody asks him to change a bar or, you know, say something a different way or whatever, right? Like,
yeah, and if he's a young buck too, you know, he's hip hop, so he's already rebellious.
Yeah, well,
which we love that energy. That's the energy of the thing. So again, you know, the youngsters, that's sort of how they're moving, and I get it. You know.
Yeah, you got to be self-assured to some level too, right? To jump on stage with a microphone, you got to have confidence in yourself and you know, and 100. What you're doing. Yeah. So, dude, you mentioned you had 23 tracks, right? 23 for the new one. Is it actually going to be
23.
that long?
No.
Okay.
I was
Uh,
gonna make it maybe 16 or something, and then Kills is like, yo, albums now are sort of like 10 and 12 tracks. But I like putting out bodies of work personally because I write a lot of music,
yeah.
and I produce a lot of music. Like I have, there's 26 tunes done, but I have 40 more beats or more that, to choose from the hottest ones. And I've already sort of done that. And I'm also working on another part two, which would be I released a beat tape called Sneak Peek Beats Volume 1
Okay.
like a couple of years ago. So I'm going to do Volume 2 and get some homies on there on some of those beats and
Nice.
release that, so
Kind of aim for more of like a posse project with that one then? Like,
almost like some mixtape shit,
okay, nice.
just like get some homies on there. And because the
Nice.
beat tape's out there, but I was gonna write songs to them, and I'm like, no, I'll just put this beat tape out. It's like 23 tracks, 23 beats,
Yeah.
and yeah. So
I think
just try to keep
16
working
is
on projects.
16's a good ballpark to be in, man. I saw a
Yeah,
list,
yeah,
somebody posted like the runtime of, kind of 10 different hip hop albums, and they were all like classic albums or whatever. And I was surprised actually at how long most of them were. Like most of them were runtimes over 60 minutes. And I think the one that surprised me most was like Good Kid, Mad City. Kendrick's album was like an hour and a half runtime or some shit like that. And I was just like, oh,
yeah,
okay. So like there are still lengthy
yeah,
albums
yeah,
out there making impact.
yeah.
And
Because an
definitely over
album,
the
an
years.
album is you know, an album is like a time capsule, because you don't make an album in a week. You know, to make a good album, in my opinion, you got to live some life, and from song to song, different shit will happen in your life. So it's hard to sort of plan an album like that. An album just sort of gets made,
Yeah. Yeah.
like you
So,
can
suddenly
you
you've got the songs for it. Then there it is. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
right, because I wasn't really planning this album, but it just sort of happened like that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna, I'll release it. I'll release a bunch of tracks, and I'll just keep doing other shit, working with some singers and shit like that too, and just keep expanding my musical palette. I like working with live drums and um, mixing live drums and incorporating more of the live elements into my boom
So
bap
live
shit.
drums, we're
Yeah.
talking about you're miking up a drum kit and somebody's
No,
actually
like I just use some good VSTs, some
okay.
high end VSTs that sound like that are real drums, recorded
Yeah. Yeah.
with great
Nice.
microphones and shit, right? And program some program some MIDI and bounce it into audio,
Beautiful, man. Yeah.
and
How
keep it
about
moving.
content wise? Like, are you going to be? I know,
I
you
got
know,
to step my content game up.
yeah.
I'm not the
Well, I'm
best at.
not talking about like social media content. I'm talking about
Oh,
like the subject matter of what you're going to be rapping about. I,
well, on
yeah,
my next shit, I don't do a lot of interviews and shit like that. Like, I speak through my music. If you want to know about me, listen to the music. And
I
my
appreciate you being
aim,
here doing this, man. Yeah,
yeah, no, I mean, this is dope. I'm saying, like, I guess what I'm saying is nobody gives a shit, I guess, enough to interview me, and I'm cool with that because
right.
my purpose is not really for that. I'm here to make the music. I've been making the music, before all the Spotify and all this shit. I've been,
Yeah,
I'm an OG in the game, long time. I toured with a lot of motherfuckers. Like, I've seen a lot of dope MCs from Toronto that don't get mentioned at all. Like, it's
yeah,
almost like an alternate universe, but I'm not really part of that. I stay in my lane. My shit is, boom bap edutainment with an attitude, you
nice.
know.
Yeah, yeah,
So a lot of the shit is what's going on, and I don't want to see the youths killing each other and all that kind of shit that people are pumping or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for real, man.
that's not really leading us to nothing in my opinion. So that's my brand. That's my brand of hip hop. But also, I like having fun too.
Yeah,
I smoke weed too, so I got a weed tune. It'll be one of my next singles, Roll Up. It's
yeah,
a weed tune. And then I got another single that's talking about a relationship thing, like You know,
Yeah,
it's
hip
just
hop is so multifaceted now that I think there really is room for, a more conscious MC to also make, like, it's not like you always got to be this pro peace unity guy all the time, right? Like, I feel like even KRS-One or whatever, talking about edutainment, we're talking about KRS-One here, and
right.
like,
KRS-One shouts. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, hell yeah, man. And that's the
yeah,
school
yeah,
of hip hop that I come from too, is like, his gospel of hip hop really taught me what this shit's supposed to be about.
yeah.
You know. I,
I fashioned myself intellectually after KRS-One
yeah,
because I came up with KRS-One and Run DMC and LL Cool J and X Clan and
yeah,
Schoolie D, and Marley Marl and Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, you know.
hell yeah.
So
Well,
I'm foundation. You know what I'm saying? So that will never leave me. You know what I'm saying? That my purpose is what it is: peace, unity, love, and having fun. But the
yeah,
reality of life is nobody's nobody's one way all the time. You
there you
know.
go. Exactly. I
So
was
we
gonna say
we we,
even
we show all
KRS-One
sides.
says like, hell no, I got the baseball bat in my hand, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you
Well,
think it's
if you look
always
at the
peace and
cover,
love? Like, nah.
if you look at the cover of By All Means Necessary, it's KRS-One,
Yeah. Posted
with the
like Malcolm at
Uzi.
the window with the
Yeah, with the
Uzi. Yeah.
Uzi looking out the window.
Yeah.
So it's showing you that violence for the right purpose. Like, a man's gonna defend his family, he's gonna defend his honor, he's
Yeah.
gonna defend his name, and if that's what it takes, and there's disrespect involved, then maybe that's the way it's gotta go. But
And
it
it's
is
that's
what it
the
is.
edge that I love in hip hop, man. There's no matter who you're talking about, there's still that edge to it, like even a guy like Common or whatever. Like, I was just watching some clips of Common going at Drake from a decade ago or whatever, and like, that guy is peace, love, and unity most of the time. He's making
Don't
real
fuck
chill
around.
music, but don't fuck
Don't fuck
around. He's
around.
still from Chicago,
Don't fuck around. You got some singers. You got some Motown singers from back in the day. You think they got a sweet ass voice? Yeah, maybe. But you think if you think they're sweet, that you're gonna step to them, you're gonna find out quick. You might catch two in the stomach. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
So
Yeah, man.
it's not really about that. Like, music, it's just an art form, and a lot of the art form of hip hop is based in pain. It's based in having less. Being marginalized. They didn't even think hip hop would last for 5 years. They called it a fad. They called it all types of shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't loved. It wasn't celebrated. It wasn't the big money makers. We were in physical altercations, bringing our boombox out on the street and shit. We're coming from like blood, sweat, and tears. You know.
Yeah.
Like I said, not everybody is privy to that history because they weren't born at that time. And that's why it's
Have you
important.
grown up in Toronto? You've been in Toronto your whole life?
For most of my life, I was in Hamilton. I started out in Hamilton.
Okay.
I was in Mississauga for a bit. I was in Ottawa for a bit. I was in Montreal for a little bit.
Yeah.
I've touched around. I've seen spots. I've seen people. I've seen different situations, and music is the universal language. That sort of dispels all the bullshit.
I've talked to guys like, from the Edmonton scene who are like OGs, like my homie DJ Dice, about like kind of hip hop not being something that was well loved in the early years in at least like places like Edmonton, for sure, right? And I think over the years it's got, of course, more and more accepted and less out of place or whatever, less less of an outlier. Was it like that in Toronto? Like, Toronto, would have been a much bigger multicultural place, I'm sure.
It's like that. It's like that all over Canada because, when people say hip hop, they're not necessarily talking about Canada.
Yeah.
Because whenever they're talking about Canada, they say Canadian hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
chases everyone away. I can tell you from experience, trying to market my fucking After the Smoke is Clear show, it drives me nuts, man, because I want to be like, yo, look, it's all Canadian artists, but as soon as you say that, people are like, well, I'm not listening to that. Why would I fucking do that? I'm gonna go over here and listen to these American guys.
And that's been the battle the entire time.
Yeah.
Like I loved Toronto bad men, them like Socrates, what I'm saying, Shaw Claire, like
Cardi.
You know,
Yeah.
all of the original Badman them, Soul Controllers, you know, Power, DJ Power, DTS, you know what I mean? All the foundation man them that really hold this hip hop thing together. And those men are still out there. DTS is, you know, still doing the Master Plan show. He's still holding the history of hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, he's got it down. He's the man, you know. And I also trained a lot with DTS, you know. You know, he helped me a lot to get my MC skills way back when I was in Hamilton, and he moved down there for a bit.
Yeah.
You know, this guy was sleeping on record crates, bro. Man had his bed was record crates.
Living it. Yeah.
Underneath the man's mattress is, I'm talking 12 to 15 crates.
That's awesome, man.
DTS is playing the music. We show up and he's like, yo, spit some bars. We're like, what? Change the beat. He's like, what? Don't you ever come to my spot and tell me to change the beat. I'm the DJ. I play the beat. You're the MC. Spit. Get to work. And if you can't do it, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
And that's how we came up, right? So, you know, it's kind of helped with the different styles and flipping different styles. And, you know, I grew up in a house listening to radio, you know, so I took in a lot of different kind of music. You know, Pink Floyd's one of my favorite bands of all time. You know?
Love some Pink Floyd, man.
Yeah. So Floyd, you know, my musical palette, like I said, I played instruments, you know, I played in the school band. So I've always loved music. And started out writing poetry really as a young kid, 8 years old. And then it just, you know, sort of went into songwriting and performing. And, you know, that's what I'm going to do until I'm not here no more. So regardless of whom or what, you know, I'm doing it. I'm pushing
Beautiful.
it. You know, I'm trying to stick to the old program to a degree because, you know, the old program is really direct to customer, you know, like if you could, you know, Master P did it. It's a great example of just getting your shit and selling your shit. You know, that's why you're saying the merch is so important because, you know, you book a tour, you don't really know how many people are going to show up necessarily.
Sometimes those merch sales are what pays the gas.
It's going to save the tour, you know, it's going to save. And I learned that from Kils, you know, and he's got a lot of merch, right? And that's what it has to be because you're your own company. So you got to be able to give the people, you know, I think we kind of got lazy as artists when this whole Spotify shit came along and people think, yo, we should just do digital distribution. And that's okay. No problem. What happened to the direct sales of you know, buying your CD and paying for it and then marking it up and selling it to a fan that wants to have it? And you get what you deserve, right? When you see Snoop Dogg saying, holy shit, dude, what's happening to these streams? Like, when he's complaining.
1 billion streams and he made, a couple thousand off of it or something like that. But 1 billion,
the shit is real.
Man. Yeah.
Shit is real. And then you got AI artists raking in money.
I think Spotify is floundering right now. They just announced, like, I think yesterday, they announced their 3rd price change in the last, 6 months. Like, I think they're flailing in all directions trying to figure out how to make that model work. And we might be witnessing kind of the decline of it because...
I hope so, man. Artists need to take their own future into their hands and don't be lazy, you know? Book shows. Get in the studio. Get your shit done. Register your shit properly. Right. So you can collect the money on the back end. Take a little time. Like I did that. I took a couple music business courses, you know, from here in the States, you know.
Okay. So, what type of stuff did you learn in music business courses about?
Everything
licensing
about
and getting paid for music, actually.
Yeah. Copyrights, licensing, you know, distribution, just the music, the laws of music, you know, like.
Any easy tips you can pass along to, you know, somebody who might be in the position you were in 10 years ago or before those business classes anyway?
I would say artists should look into, you know, who is dealing with their publishing and try to set up their own publishing companies so that they can, if nothing else, they can then negotiate, you know, with people for the music, because when you give all your publishing away or you're signed to a publisher, like that's all good, but you have more leverage to deal if you own your publishing and you have a publishing company already. You know what I'm saying? So to set up your business like that, and learn the laws, man. Learn what's going on in Canada.
So I was
You
just gonna
know,
say, in Canada, it's SOCAN that handles artist publishing typically, right?
well, there's publishers that work with SOCAN, but I mean, there's yeah, SOCAN will deal with publishing as well, but there's people do their own publishing. They'll do publishing with other companies in the States. They'll do sub publishing, which is different than having a publisher, because if you have a sub publisher, then they just take a percentage and they don't have no rights to the actual music. They don't own any parts of your music.
So wait, just so that I know what we're talking about here, like, and then that company's going to turn around and try to find placements for your music. Is that the idea?
Yeah, that
Or
sub
okay,
publisher. Yeah, you're right. Based on there, because they act as a publisher, but they don't do everything that the publisher does. They don't want to do it, right? They just basically want to, give you to their links and see what could go on there, but they're not really interested in owning a percentage of your music, because that becomes a lot of paperwork, right? And a lot of red tape.
yeah,
It can get really bad, because if people don't know what kind of contract they're signing, and next thing you know, they're not making music, they owe the record company money, and they're working a job, and the record
yeesh.
company still needs their money. It's some real fucking horror stories out there, man.
That's a nightmare right there. Ending up owing money for the music you have already paid into making. Like, I always joke about music being a black hole for money, and we're all just shoveling in money, buying more and more equipment, and whether it's paying for beats or paying for mixes and masters or fucking paying to press vinyl, like everything costs money, and then
Now you got to, yeah,
none of it comes back at the artist ever from
yeah,
like,
everybody's putting their hands in the artist's pocket, right? Everybody wants you to pay to be on their platform. They want you to, subscribe for this monthly thing, that monthly thing. And it's like, you can do that, but, just make sure you're putting out the dope music, man.
yeah.
And a lot of times that stuff will sort of take care of itself, but I've been in the game a long time, you know, setting up my own shit. So I'm sort of comfortable like with that. I'm not saying that I wouldn't, if the opportunity arose, that I wouldn't jump into a bigger pool if that's what it was. But
Yeah.
what's important to me now is just releasing the music that I want to release when I want to release it, keep writing it, keep producing it, keep releasing it, keep touring with it, and just build that grassroots, the grassroots movement, the conscious hip hop. That's what we're doing. That's what I've always been doing. Like I said, that's what I'm always going to be doing.
It's a niche lane, but I don't think it's one that'll ever die, right? There's always going to be heads out there looking for it. Yeah.
That's what this is built on, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Truth is the foundation. So without the foundation, it all crumbles. So whether they want to pay attention to it or not, we're still here.
I was just going to ask, like, man, I've heard all sorts of theories, throughout my time running around in hip hop about how, like, they don't promote positive music because they want to keep the jails full or this or that, right? Like, and how it's like a conspiracy to not promote positive music. And I've always had this opinion, like, it might be that, like, that's feasible. It could be that. I could see that maybe happening. But at the same time, like, it could just be the lowest common denominator. Sex sells, violence sells. People love to, support that type of stuff. And it could just kind of be like, that's just what the masses are kind of looking to buy. It doesn't force them to think. It doesn't force them to challenge anything. They just want to go dance. They want to have a song that the girl's gonna shake it to, like, that's,
Well, I mean, the funny thing about that is, if you think about it, C. Dolores Tucker,
right,
was this woman that was, back in the day, she was advocating for, to ban hip hop because it was so misogynistic, and people using the word bitch and this and that, and
her and Tipper Gore and shit, right?
Well, I mean that it's funny to watch that footage and watch the people on Oprah and all that shit talking about it. Then fast forward. Look at them now. Look at the same chicks that she was advocating and saying, "Oh, stop calling us bitches and hoes." And have you seen what's going on now?
I have no idea what she's up to now. Where's she at now?
No. I'm saying, have you seen the state of how women are dealing with themselves? Like, forget about dudes. Like, you go on IG at any day, you see a girl just standing there smiling at herself, shaking her tits.
Yeah. Getting hundreds and thousands more likes than I can get on anything I'm posting over here. Yeah.
Do what you want to do. But You know,
Do you think that there's a lane for commercial music to be, or sorry, not for commercial music, for conscious music to be commercially successful? Like, do you think it's possible at this point?
whenever you say commercially successful, there's always going to be a problem
Yeah.
because whenever something's commercial, a lot of times it's they're losing the reality of the thing. It is possible because I mean, look at Kendrick,
I was just gonna
right?
say this is
It
the
is,
Kendrick
it
versus
is,
Drake debate boiled into
it
philosophy
is,
here. Yeah.
and I think it's just, I think it's just what the people truly want and what they truly need. They need their souls to be like freed up. They need to be happy in life. They need to feel accomplished.
For real.
They need to feel like they're not getting robbed everywhere they look. The bank's robbing them, the landlord's robbing them, the city's robbing them, the cops are robbing them, giving them tickets, $250 for going through a light where they pay the taxes for the roads, man.
Right.
250. A man told me he got two tickets one day, 5 bills.
Yeah.
Right? It's not really. It's unsustainable. But the greedy keep getting greedier, and
The rich keep
poor
getting
keep getting
richer.
poorer. That's
Yeah.
it's sort of an old cliche shit, but it is what it is, right? And
The cycles continue, man. Yeah.
yeah. No, and I'm the voice against all of that shit, right? People need to be able to live and let live. People want to do what they want, let them do it. You know what I'm saying? As long as they're not hurting anybody else and they're not trying to impose their thing on other people, do your
Yeah.
thing. You know
There's
what I
always
mean?
kind of been a debate around like whether MCs should be looked at as leaders or not, right? Like, is it unfair to look to every guy with a microphone on stage and expect them to have
Yeah, I think it's unfair.
knowledge, like, and
I
expect
think
them to
I,
have
I think
leadership?
I think it's unfair. I
Yeah.
think it's unfair to judge. You know, if somebody doesn't have that knowledge, then hey, that's on them. If somebody had that knowledge and then didn't want it, hey, that's also on them. So it's all dependent on the individual. The individual will tell you what they stand for, or their music will tell you what they stand for, and that's usually how you know how to identify with an artist. So when you're asking me about, can the conscious music be
Fine.
commercially viable?
Yeah.
Yes, because when people know that they can bring their peoples to a show. They can bring their kids to a show. It's a hip hop show. It's going to be hard hitting lyrics. It's going to be hard hitting beats, but no one's going to be shooting each other. We're talking about conscious vibes. We're talking about upliftment. We're talking about how to solve a problem,
Yeah.
or many problems. We're talking about a better day, a light at the end of the tunnel, because we know the shit is rough and the shit has always been rough and the shit's going to get rougher.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You think we're seeing anything now? Buckle up.
Man, that's always been my outlook on hip hop is like, uh, it's kind of reality, the CNN of the streets, the Chuck D quote or whatever, that it's a good way for people to voice opinions
Chuck
that
D, big
otherwise,
up.
yeah, hell yeah,
Big up
that
to Chuck
otherwise
D.
aren't getting posted. Chuck D is a legend, man. That guy, right from the beginning till right now, he
Yeah.
has no missteps that I'm aware of, anyways. Like, he's just always on point, man.
Yeah, man. It's about what you want to. It's about what you want to put out there. So
Yeah.
um,
But I wanted to ask, man, I saw somebody comment like during this whole Drake Kendrick kind of, the culture versus the commercialized side of things debate going on all over the internet. I saw somebody say, how are you going to say numbers don't matter though? Because hip hop was born from parties, not born in somebody's bedroom. And I was like, okay, maybe I can't really retort that. Like, this is a party music that, like, you're supposed to be making music for parties at some point too, right?
yeah, that part of it. I think when people are talking about that, they're talking about more of what is an MC.
Yeah.
What is an MC in the culture of hip hop? To my understanding, and to understanding of the forefathers that brought hip hop, started hip hop, one of the main elements of an MC is you're a writer. You write your own shit, all of your own shit, right? And hey, that's what it is on this side. That's what it is over here on the King Jus side of shit.
Right.
I can't tell you about the commercial side. I haven't touched it.
Yeah.
But but I'm also not I'm not throwing no shade on Drake either.
Yeah.
His thing is his thing. Live and let live. That's me.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever he does, he's a success. He's been successful.
I've learned
right?
in my
whatever they want to call him, right? Pop, commercial.
Yeah.
He's a successful Canadian artist that broke America. Nobody wanted to give him no love because they never want to give us no love. Tory Lane, same shit. Right. Gone over there, mash up the place. And, you know, there's the jealousy or whatever. It's cool. It's hip hop. But for me, is Drake successful? Yeah. Is he a successful commercial rapper? Fuck yeah. Numbers do matter.
Yeah.
Numbers do matter in that realm. It does.
He's one of the biggest artists who's ever lived. I mean,
he's got the numbers. Right? He's got the numbers. You could say what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, he's going through some rough shit right now. But again, that goes with when you're on top.
People are going to throw stones.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? That's part of his thing is, you know, I'm interested to see how he's going to navigate it. You know, but it's interesting. It's interesting to see.
He moved to Texas and got a cowboy hat, man. I think that the Beyonce country album equivalent might be coming up next. I think that might be a pat back, or he might go be an actor. These are my two.
I don't know. He's calculating at the same time. You know, he's a calculating dude at the same time. So I mean, and this is his sort of thing. This is his thing. So you know, whatever happens there, it'll be blessed as long as we can hear some good music over some dope beats. I don't give a shit.
As long as people are enjoying the music, man, I was going to say, like,
I don't give a shit about all the politics and all the other shit.
I've decided that as long as someone enjoys the music people are making, that the worst critique I'm going to make of it is typically like, it's just not for me, you know? Like, man. It obviously makes all these other people happy, so, like, that's good. Yeah. Spread happiness in the world. Like,
hey, people can, there's enough to go around, right?
Exactly.
Somebody might like Drake and buy Drake's music, and they also like Lil Wayne, and they also like Kendrick.
Yeah.
They're going to purchase all of those musics. Hey, I'm not mad.
And it's definitely possible to like all of those lanes, you know?
And it's young. It's hip hop heads getting money, you know, being able to do their own thing. And I love to see that, man. I love to see that. I wish we could see more of that in Canada. We should have more of a star-based system where there's more artists that are able to thrive off of the good music, you know? But we strive to keep it rolling as much as we can, you know, because time moves on, but the more things change, the more they stay the same, you know?
For real, man. Even what you said about the Toronto scene there and how there's like a lot of success. I saw a Toronto DJ talking the other day about how like he had played, you know, this list of artists at this show, and like he was just testing what it would be like to do an all local hip hop set. And I commented on it being like, yeah, those artists you named there are like people who are doing big numbers, you know, like they're the more commercially successful people, but that is a tiny slice of the hip hop that's coming out of Toronto. Like I don't even live there. And from over here, I can still see that like, yo, there's a great big spectrum of Toronto artists, and you know, those guys making that type of music, it's what's maybe going to be most popular with the 20-year-olds in the club or whatever. But like
for now. Yeah.
But it might not.
Well, you got some nice artists. You got Raz Fresco.
Yeah.
You know, Raz Fresco, he's dope. You know, I like his shit.
He was not mentioned. You know, they were mentioned.
Like give me a break. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. Like it's not. People are gonna say whatever, but we are the practitioners. You know.
Yeah.
We are the writers. We are the MCs. Right? When you're seeing us, when you're seeing me, you're seeing 100% hip hop, baby.
For real.
And you've always seen that from King Jus. You're always going to see that because my energy is hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It is the energy of the people. It is the energy of the street. You know, it is the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I give it to you all.
Yeah.
Right? It's you know, we all hope for something better for humanity, but shit, dude. There's also the reality of what is, and you got to find your way, however you got to find it, you know? Definitely. So there's strength in numbers, you know, get behind the idea, you know, the idea is conscious hip hop, you know?
Yeah.
Shit that can uplift you and, you know, spread the love.
Can I ask, sonically, with this new album of yours being self-produced, are the beats going to be leaning in a direction that you haven't got to kind of work with yet? Like, is there a lot of influence from you know, an
There's
angle?
many different influences because, like, you know, I'll sample all types of shit, chop it, rework it.
Yeah.
I'll listen to soundtracks, Portuguese music from the 70s, fucking African disco. I listen to all types of music. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So my influences are whatever. Sonically, I listen for certain things when I'm sampling. Um, I have experimented with some beats that I made into somewhat of a movie scene. You know, there's a beat on Sneak Peek Beats Volume 1 called Good Morning. And it's something like that. It sort of has like a West Coast type shit, but it's just sort of chaos, and it's called Good Morning, which is sarcasm, obviously. But
Okay.
that type of shit. I like to experiment with movie clips and whatever is sort of off the wall, and will catch the attention of people. And then sometimes I just keep it simple. Do kit, do kit, and then just spit some shit over it. Because
Here's a
that's
producer question I've been asking a couple guys. When you make a beat, how do you name it? Just if you're making a beat and it's going into the vault, do you name it by the date, or you give it a random name, or how do you find it again?
I always name them. I always name them from like what I'm feeling, or sometimes I'll name it. Sometimes I'll name it with the name of the artist, but I'll put my own spin on it.
Okay.
Because a lot of the shit that I sample, I can't tell you where I sampled it from.
Like a
And
week
that's on
later, you
purpose.
wouldn't remember where it was from or
Wouldn't
whatever.
remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Okay.
I have so many, beats, and like, I don't really want to remember, because the way I chop them, I chop the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Right. And then I re-chop them, and then I'll fucking Shazam them. If it's past the 12-time test, we're good to go.
So wait, you should Shazam them to make sure Shazam doesn't recognize it. Is that the idea?
Yeah, that's easy. Because if Shazam can recognize it, I'm not doing my job.
That's smart. Okay. I've never thought of using Shazam that way, but
yeah, I have a way of producing that is my own type thing,
Yeah.
And
No, I mean the beauty of it, like people, hate on people hate on Diddy for all sorts of reasons now today, but people always throughout the years have hated on guys like Diddy for just like taking an 8-bar loop and fucking looping it up, right? Like, yeah.
We ain't doing none of that. We're making compositions. So a lot of my beats, they're 2 beats in one, so I'll throw down 2/8. So I got a beat that, the beat's a 16-bar banger, and there's tons of changes in it. And, I'm playing some keys on the shit, and, I'm just feeling the vibe out, you know what I mean? Because that's really what it is for me. It's just a feeling. Sometimes I haven't made music for a fucking month.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not feeling it. I know what I got to do. I got to mix a song, and I'm like, fuck, I just don't feel like doing it, man.
Sometimes it's tough to motivate, man.
Yeah. I've pushed myself to do it, and other times I'm like, yeah, I'm just not pushing myself today to do it, man. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And that's life. That's what it is. Music reflects life, so
sometimes it can be really healthy to push ourselves to make music, but then sometimes it's definitely also healthy to just, like you said, let yourself be hands off, take some time to live life and get some more inspiration. Let it hit.
Yeah, man. Get inspired however you do it. Watch a movie, go take a walk, play some soccer, do whatever, whatever you like, so you can get back to the thing with a nice, fresh, open mind. Because sometimes when you keep pushing yourself, it's like, it's almost like working out every single day, and you want to get big, and you're eating all the nutrients and shit, and you're fucking working out every day, and you're like, I'm not getting big. No, because when does your muscles grow? When you're fucking resting?
Yeah.
Right. So you need that rest. You need the time away from it. Then you're going to see the thing. You're like, yeah, now I got more energy to go back. Right.
For real, man. Yeah. Hey, this is one that I ask a lot of people, man. Just opinion. Do you get more fulfillment from being on stage performing, or from actually just making the music, like in studio?
Performer by nature.
Yeah.
But in the studio, I get like euphoric, bro. I get like, when I find a sample that I can chop, Like it usually starts with the song itself, right? Something about certain kinds of soul music and just the and blues, just the feeling you can really feel when the artist is feeling a thing, and when the musicians are like really in the tune.
Right.
When you sample some shit like that, it gives you like goosebumps, man. It's almost like you're scared to touch the
I
sample
just
right
got
away. You're
goosebumps
like,
now thinking about it, man. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
cut it,
Yeah.
you're like, yo, you listen to it a couple times, you're like, oh, because you know what I've also done? I've also, well, just recently I sent Kills, I gave him the sample. I'm like, dude, try to rock this sample because I love this sample. I've tried to sample it 3 times.
Just couldn't make it work on your side.
Yeah. Couldn't make it work. And I think he actually made it work. He put down some, he's like, yeah, I don't know if I like this so much. I'm like, yo, this is pretty dope though. So again, like, 2 producers, same sample, one man struggling with it. The other man throws it in there. He's like, yeah, how about this? I'm like, yeah, pretty fucking good.
Well, and that's something else I hear from a lot of producers too, is that they'll make a beat that they don't like, that then the next man likes, that you never really know what somebody else is going to take from what you've just made, or what they're going to be inspired to do from what you've just made. Do you sell beats at all? Like, have you?
Yeah, I sell them.
Okay. Do you do like a beat store or whatever? You got them up online anywhere?
No, I just sort of, I have my peeps that I sort of, let them listen to the beats. They're like, yeah, okay, I wanted this one. I want this. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. So, keep it like that. And I also try to get my beats in sync licensing and shit for commercials and shit like that. So I got an agent.
See, that's like the secret code shit to me. You gotta take some course some fucking place to figure out how to do that shit, right?
it's its own world, right? The sync licensing shit, it's its own world. But it's another opportunity for producers too, right? Like most producers, people that you're in art, so you probably know writers or little directors that are putting out little, indie films or whatever. Like try to get them to put your music on there. Go to the colleges or whatever. Go meet who's going to be the next graduates in the film and television course, right? And take
and that's
some
something
of your beats
you do
down there.
Yourself. Boots on the ground. Actually, yourself or
I'm also in the acting world, right? So I do a lot of voice work for Ubisoft. So I do a lot of video games and shit. That's what else I do, and that's easy for me because Tom Clancy Division 2.
Nice.
I'm in that.
Yeah.
What's that new one? What's that new? Fuck, man. What's the movie with the fucking bright people?
Like a Pixar movie or whatever.
The Pandora movie.
Okay, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank too, man.
Yeah. I can't.
Anyways, voiceover work though.
But but I've been doing that for a good minute, like.
Avatar?
I do on-camera work too.
Avatar. Chat's saying Avatar. Okay,
that's it. Avatar. Thanks, y'all. Sorry, Ubisoft. Shit, man.
Same guy in chat, Doobyis. He said you were dope in Edmonton too. He said
yo, respect Doobyis. Oh, the producer.
Yeah, producer Doobyis. Producer, engineer, DJ. He was DJing a show last night. I bet that show was insane after the Oilers win last night too, man. Holy shit.
Yo, big up the Oilers. They're about to make history on Monday, eh?
Dude, yeah, I hope so.
Go
I
Edmonton.
Hope so. They're already the first team to win 3 in a row after losing 3 in a row since like the 40s or something in the finals.
Dude, the country's behind Edmonton, man.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Edmonton's a dope place, bro. Like the vibe in Edmonton. We played with the Fresh Kils trio with some cats at the Common, and live shit, and
you guys did Dis or Daps too, right?
Dis or Daps, crazy. But I'm saying the
shows
cats
to J Reds for organizing those. Okay,
J Reds piece. Those cats treated us real good. Like much love to those men. You know what I mean?
Beautiful.
But just the vibe out there. They're real. They're real together. It was a little weird. Like I heard little rumblings of little, sort of dumb beefs. But for the most part, people are coming together. The culture's alive and well there. They got a lot of MCs that are dope. They got a lot of fucking dope producers. Doobyis got up there and fucking killed the shit. His energy was fucking...
Man, he's incredible with the freestyles or whatever. Yeah, he's dope.
Just really nice vibe. And like I said, like it reminded me of just early hip hop, back in the day when you know, nobody was really chasing clout. The only clout you were chasing is that your rhymes were better than the next man's, or that your fucking
Or to get the crowd to
was,
cheer right there. You know,
yeah, I mean,
that's clout
you
to
know,
some level, but
yeah,
it's
yeah, whatever that hip hop element is, it was more about that. It wasn't really about much else, you know. So I felt that energy
yeah.
in Edmonton a lot, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
I lived
I had
up
a
there
great time up there.
for almost 15 years, man, and like I always loved the community up there. There were always open mic nights. There's always, you know, MCs going out to the open mic nights. You'd see guys who are actually dropping music, showing up just to freestyle in a
Yeah.
cipher with whoever shows up or whatever. And
Yeah, shouts to
you know,
Creation as well.
yeah,
Creation, you know what
hell
I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Super dope dude, man. Dope DJ, you know what I'm saying? Also like treated us real dope. That other ill producer, Golden Child.
yeah. I know of Golden
Kid
Child.
is
Yeah,
sick. I went to MVMA studios. Yo, those dudes ain't fucking around over there. Those dudes are up my lane, bro. Those men are playing live. Like Golden Child, he's playing drums and shit. Like these men are playing live fucking shit over their beats.
you went to
You know
the
what I'm
studio.
saying?
Did you guys actually
Yeah,
do?
NVMA. I was
Did you
in
put in
there.
some work? You could get on
No,
any
I
of those
didn't really
tracks?
have
Or
time.
okay,
I
okay.
didn't have time, man. Kills had us on a choop 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 choop. Like we hardly had time to
Yeah,
like
you guys had a
rest,
busy
bro.
schedule for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, super. But that's the way. That's the way it's done. If it's being done properly, there's not much downtime, you know, because when the show's done, you got to pack up the merch table. You got to take account of everything. You
Yeah.
got to get fucking paid because usually you're not getting paid up like first, right? A
Right.
couple times it was like that, right? But you know, for the most part, you get what you get. You go in there and you sell your merch, you get your money, make sure all the books are balanced, and you set for the next day. Yo, what's the next spot? We got to get there. We got enough gas. We got to wake up at 6:30, get the fucking hotel breakfast, boom, be on the road by such and such, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, a lot of planning, and it's just dope, man. It's dope. It's dope to, you know, it's dope to live like that and be able to tour and
Hip
touch
hop is
different
something we
places and
live, right? It's supposed
yeah,
to
and just see
be,
how the
yeah,
people
supposed to
react
be
to it and how
every
the
day.
people them love the music. And it was, you know, I felt great that they still appreciate the, you know, the raw elements of the conscious shit. And, you know, it helps having Fresh Kils up there banging out those pads.
Oh yeah.
You know, we couldn't bring DJ Versatile, but, you know, that's like, that's the ultimate, right?
Next
Like,
time. Next time
yeah,
do it,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the ultimate. But
Um
yeah,
yeah, man. So here, I normally do a segment called How Important Is This or That? And I'm gonna just kind of ask rapid fire, how important is
cool.
this? You can be brief or be long-winded with your answers, doesn't matter. But actually, before we get to that, I did want to ask you uh a question that I've been asking people is this the era of indies? Are the major labels going to die? Would you ever at this point think about signing to a major deal, like, or recommend it to other artists, I guess?
No, I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, you know, like I said before, I think this is the age of the artist taking back control of their music and going direct sales
Yeah.
to the customer as much as you can, right? You could use the other shit that's happening, but get your own website. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on that myself. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Try to drive the traffic as much as you can to you, your merch table, your ticket sales. You could set that shit up yourself.
Come
Right?
through on
You take account.
Doobyis.com, everybody. That's the
There
hub
you
for
go.
everything I do. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right? You take those ticket sales yourself. You get the analytics of what's going on in what cities. You make the calls. You make the
Exactly.
links to the radio shows, to the podcasters. Oh, I'm gonna be in your city.
Yeah.
Do it up.
Yeah.
Get active. Get active. We got lazy somehow, myself included, right? Because we're putting out records before, and then the platforms came. We're like, yeah, we, you know, maybe we don't have to put out records now. Yay! These guys are saying that they're gonna come and make the thing fair. It's all gonna be digital. We got duped.
Yeah.
But not all of us. Some man still putting out vinyl, right? Because vinyl is important. Why is vinyl important? Because DJs play vinyl,
Yeah.
right? And if ain't no vinyl going on, like it's all right. You know what I mean? But that's also part of the thing. It's part of the business of being an MC. Like the longer you're in the game back in the day, is the more vinyl you could press because you have relationships with the man them that are pressing them. You've pressed X amount. You're maybe getting yours cheaper.
Right.
You're getting sort of put in the front of the line when you're putting in your orders, and it becomes that same thing. It's the relationship, right? And there's no relationship. Somebody sitting behind a screen and hitting a like. That ain't doing shit for your bottom line, right?
Yeah.
You need people to buy shit. You need them to support your art, right?
Yeah.
Not these suits that how the fuck is Spotify paying all these big salaries to people and the artists are getting slave labor and people are cool with it. But I think that's a reflection more of the time. People are cool with a lot of dumb shit.
Yeah, man. The money has gotten more and more concentrated at the top. I feel like just in society in general, and it definitely shows in music that.
Yeah, and you don't know what's real, right? Because motherfuckers are buying likes,
Yeah.
fake spins, fake this, and that's why I'm like,
Even as far as like buying better, management and shit like that, so that their managers are making these handshakes that get them these placements and get them, more and more noticed. And yeah, sometimes you see artists pop up and it just seems like they went from 0 to 100 so fucking quick. It's like, how did they manage that? And
hey, and listen, and in some cases, it may look like that to us, right? But we don't see the work that these men are really putting in and what they've done behind the scenes. Like by the time they show up and they decide, okay, I'm going to launch the IG now, they've already been politicking with their homies, like that dude Russ. I seen a few other guys too. They were like, yeah, we were throwing shows in our backyard.
Right.
And then we just start live streaming them. And then, again, grassroots.
Yeah.
Right. Like the man's family was involved, like his parents and shit. Like, oh yeah, we got a show, whatever, selling tickets. And
he's maybe the best example of how to do it as an indie, I think.
Because that's what this thing is. This thing is about community.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what's been lost. It's about community. It's not just about how many, put out a song a week. Great. But what impact is that sort of having on, the community? What's that? What are you giving back to the community? You know what I'm saying? And this is what's happened with the hip hop thing. But for me, like I said, I'm an OG. I'm setting my ways in to a degree. And
I feel like I know the answer that you're going to give me from this, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Would you rather sell one $20 CD or get 30,000 streams on a song?
I'll take the 20.
Yeah. Well, right, because that's actually somebody who's investing in your music directly.
Yeah, because that 20 can turn it.
They might shake your hand.
It's going to turn into more than that, because when you're positioning yourself with the merch, and it's just about your ideas. Like, what do your people like? Oh, they like cool images. Like, what does everybody like?
Yeah.
You find out what does everybody like, and then you sort of curtail the thing to what your people like based on what your brand of the hip hop is, and then you run with that. Like what's his name there? Chaos, right? Clarity opened for Chaos the other night, and
were you at that show?
Chaos, yeah, I was at that show. It was dope,
man.
Right?
Yeah,
in Kitchener, right? I like the way he presented his shit, and he's always had his own shit. He's always had his own brand. It's his brand of hip hop, which is dope, right? There's all types of. It's very musical. You know what I'm saying? And
did Meyer end up doing the freestyle obstacle course on stage? When I talked to him, he was talking about how he was going to try to break out the super nat, hold something up in the crowd, and I'll put it into my freestyle.
I didn't see that, but I seen him tear the shit up though.
Nice. Yeah.
I seen him versatile and Kils destroy the stage.
Good to hear, man.
Yeah, that was about it.
Hell yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, it was a good time. But yeah, Chaos. He it's another Canadian artist that should get props too, right? Because it's not easy.
The mold, man. Yeah, he's not what you're supposed to be a successful MC or whatever. Like
and that's a testament to a man just believing in himself and believing in his lane and sticking to it and doubling down on his shit and
being incredibly skillful with it too.
Yeah, because there's only one him. You can't even try to duplicate his shit.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
All right. So into this how important section. Let's start with how important is freestyling. Is that an important thing for an MC to be able to do?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Freestyle, man, should be able to freestyle. There's different schools of thought.
Yeah.
For the craft, yes, a man should be able to freestyle. I've heard man say, "Yo, man, the styling for free."
Yeah, right. I don't freestyle because the styles ain't free. Yeah. Thanks, Jay-Z. Okay. Yeah. I feel like you got to be rich living in a castle to actually have that mentality. Like.
Yeah.
Once you're wildly successful, maybe take that. But yeah.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I think building community, right? Like, how better to build community than be out in a cipher and meet some other MCs and meet some other people.
and that's what it's really all about, right? It's about the raw skills of, being able to MC and, really move the crowd, and what does it mean to really MC a
Yeah,
show. It takes a lot, right? It's a lot of preparation because there's a lot of shit that can go wrong. Right?
for real, man.
It's a lot of shit that can go wrong, especially when you're dealing with other technical pieces of equipment, an MPC, two techniques, right? Anything can happen. A perfect example: we're doing this sidewalk show at the Sweet Potato out in Bayview there, and the show starts, and the wind blows dust into Versatile's needle.
Oh shit.
So we got to try to, keep the crowd interested and wait this super long, what felt like
Kicking
10
acapella.
minutes.
Yeah, when you're just
Yeah.
standing up there and the beat can't play, it feels
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a long time. Yeah.
And you hear a verse in the background, like, okay, keep talking, man.
Yeah.
Keep talking while he's trying to fix the needles, right?
Yeah, you got to
But
turn
again,
into a stand-up comedian real quick or something, right?
That's how the shit goes, right? You gotta do what you gotta. And yeah, but it's fun. It's fun to be out there, and I'm blessed to still be able to be out there and be doing my thing, So I just want to big up all the people that support King Jus and, the independent thinker movement, you know. Yeah.
Gratitude,
You know what I'm saying?
man. Yeah.
Yeah. Hit me up if y'all need beats. Whatever's clever, man. Let's build. I'm the OG. I'm still here,
Hell yeah,
Let's
man.
work.
Well, and that's why I appreciate guys with a lot of experience coming through to just do a podcast like this, where we're just going to talk about what is this indie grind like and how has it changed and what are the best fucking approaches to it, because everybody wants to hide it behind a paywall. Everybody wants to fucking make you pay for the course to get the info or whatever, and it's like, I don't know if it's that serious, guys. I think there's probably lane for everybody, and we could,
Yeah, and it's hard to know. It's always hard to know. It's hard to know what it is when we're looking at it online, right?
Yeah.
Like, the only way you really know is, go check the show. You listen to the music.
Yeah.
What are your ears telling you? What is your body telling you when you're listening? What kind of feeling are you getting in your brain? You know what I'm saying? Like, how's the music speaking to you? Like, this is really what's important. That's the connection, So everybody has their own lane again. Like, I like more shit than others, obviously, like some shit I like more than other shit, obviously. But I mean,
actually, that's something I wanted to ask you, man. Do you find yourself listening to ignorant hip hop sometimes too? And like, you fan of ignorant hip hop sometimes?
Okay, so I rarely listen to other artists besides myself.
Okay.
That's just because I don't want to be influenced by next man's rap style. I've always been like that because I'm from that school. Now, don't get me wrong. Now,
yeah,
some of my favorite groups. I'll get tell you who, like Mobb Deep, hands down. That's my. And like I said, I came up in the era of the hip hop. So I don't want you to think I'm saying, I don't.
It's not like you're completely ignorant to yeah,
right. I'm just saying that.
Stuff, of course.
I'm just saying on a daily basis, I'm not really listening to hip hop. I'm listening to my own shit.
Yeah.
I'm making sure my own lyrics are tight. I'm getting to my own mixes. There's not enough hours in a day, right?
To be
SoCan, fucking MRock, like all these different platforms. You got to sign the lyrics out. You got to,
Wait, what's MRock? I'm familiar with SoCan. I've never even heard of MRock.
MRock. I think MRock actually is closing now, but it's one of those organizations in Toronto that was collecting royalties.
Okay, sure.
Which, there's a few of them.
Sure.
So if you work your way through that maze,
yeah,
which is a whole other podcast about, the tariffs and, the fact that the artist community is not even allowed in the room when those meetings are taking place.
Right.
And the information, you just sort of get it after. Oh, there's going to be a new royalty. It's called this, and it's going to be collected by SoCan, and they'll pay you every quarter. What?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's better than not being paid, but like, yeah, we could have been involved.
But it's just because I wonder, I'm like, yo, I wonder if Drake and them, like Drake sort of surpassed that whole, you know, when he was independent on the come up, if he sort of bypassed all of this, like posting to this site, posting to that site. Because a lot of dudes say that. They're like, yo, you know what? If you just go to the States and you just make the music, the rest of the shit sort of falls into place, you know?
I
You can
think
do
if
so
you're
many
making
shows.
amazing music, but I don't know.
Yeah,
The first place
you'd
I
hope.
heard Drake was on a blog, right on Gnarrite. I remember, I used to check in on gnarrite.com all the time, and like that's where I heard his first album. And if I'm being honest, I listened to it and was like, well, this isn't really for me, and I went on to the next thing.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
used to,
But how he got
I
there,
used
I
to,
don't really know. I mean, yeah.
yeah, but I mean, it's links, right? Either way, and that's really, a lot of times it's more who you know
Yeah. Yeah,
that can put
definitely.
you on. You know what I mean? And again, it is what it is. But on the strength of the music, that's also a thing. We should never lose sight of, who are the real artists. Who are the real fucking MPC masters. Like, we got them right here. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, people need to sort of pay their respects, and if they don't, then they don't. But the history is what it is, and there are motherfuckers that have been preserving the history, and they know what it is. I mean, again, another podcast could be the Soul Controllers, DJ Power and DTS, and that for a lot of us, that was the first record we were on, the first mixtape, the
Sure.
first chance to really shine to a fucking super broad audience, right? Motion throwing it down, like, these are these people are ingrained in the culture and the fabric of this hip hop thing, and you know it
They
didn't get
deserve the
mentioned.
flowers, man.
It didn't
Yeah.
get mentioned fucking nowadays. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, like, it is what it is, but you can never get rid of the foundation, because the rest of the shit is just gonna crumble. And if you have no link to the foundation, then it's like you're standing on fucking, your house is built on sand and not
Sinking.
concrete.
Yeah.
It's not an outdoor thing, it's an indoor thing.
Yeah, man.
But whatever's clever, man. People like what they like, and
How about
you know,
this, man? After being on the Canadian scene for so long, you probably have a lot of perspective on this. How important is getting grants for a Canadian artist?
it's very important.
Yeah.
Take advantage, because in Canada, like, we're one of the only, you can't get many grants in the States like that, right?
Yeah.
Take advantage, man. Take some time and set up your profiles. Ontario Arts Council, Toronto Arts Council, Factor. There's a couple other ones. Go check them out. Do the profile thing. Take.
Yeah, I think every
you-
different
you
province
may-
has its own. Like we've got Alberta
Right. You may
music
have to
out
take
here.
a
Yeah.
week away from music. I'm
Right.
telling you right now. You may have to take a week, put down the music, because the grants, they happen at a certain time, and you got a profile. They're going to show you all the grants that you're eligible for. Fill them out, man.
Yeah.
You can get travel grants if you're going across doing a tour. Like, there's money there. You might as well try to get it. And
Real.
it's part of you putting yourself out there as an independent artist. I got love for independent artists, right? Because I've been an independent artist for a long time, and I've seen a lot of shit. Like, I was about to go and make some tracks with the Fushnikins, because my second child's mother, like, it's her cousin, right?
Okay.
Ship food. So
Dope.
I mean, it was just that sort of thing too. And we just respected each other on the strength of the music. But again, life gets in the way, and this, that. So I mean, I've seen it. I've been around it. I've hung out with the dopest MCs. I've toured with them. I've been part of it. I've been part of a dope organization. I was rolling with Just Entertainment. Real organized. Everybody getting the shit done, putting the shows together. Brent Smith did KRS-One's first Canadian tour. So we're talking like real history, and
Hell yeah.
so to be a part of all that, like, and to still be going, I'm blessed, man, because I outlasted a lot of motherfuckers.
Beautiful, man. Yeah. I'm glad you did, dude. Yeah. How about this one's kind of a softball. I just want to hear you say it, man. How important is a good stage show?
You got to have a good stage show.
Yeah.
You got to have a good stage show, because the stage show is how you're giving back to the people, right? It's how you're showing them your appreciation for them. And having a good stage show means that you've prepared. you've done some rehearsals, you give a fuck enough about the fans to deliver your best
Yeah.
when you're on the stage, because that's what they deserve, because they don't got to listen to your shit, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah, exactly.
but if they care enough to support you, then the least you could fucking do is be who you say you are. And
Yeah.
fucking come to your show prepared and give the people them a fucking great show that they pay their hard-earned money to come and
Definitely.
see, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, I don't like the people getting fucked over. You know, hip hop is for the people, by the people. So we always got to take care of the fans. We got to give them the top quality fucking music. We got to give them the top quality shows. We got to give them the top quality subject matter. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
And we just keep the love rolling like that, and then pass it on, pass it down the line. That's why I like Raz Fresco, man.
Yeah. Dude,
You know,
he
he's
puts in
talking a
so
lot of-
much work. Yeah, and
God's
his
talking a
bars
lot of
are always
sense.
super on
It's talking
point.
a lot of sense, man.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? The God's talking a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm into.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm into. So I mean,
I'm excited to see him actually getting so much acclaim and support.
Yeah.
And deserved.
Well deserved.
Yeah,
It's well
exactly.
deserved and
But
over, and,
I feel
and
like
well
a lot of
overdue,
guys in that lane,
right?
you know, just get ignored for whatever reason. And it, like I said, I've seen also Toronto DJs who list off, here's 10 locals who I played this weekend, and he's not on there. And I'm just kind of like, why didn't you play any Raz Fresco? Like maybe,
says who, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. And again, it you know, it is what it is, but those who know.
Yeah.
And it's always sort of been like that with hip hop, right?
Yeah.
You know, you had people trying to come into the culture and sort of pretend that they know what hip hop is. And, you know, that's what I'm saying. A lot of those motherfuckers in the early days, they didn't want nothing to do with the real hip hop.
Right.
They didn't want nothing to do with it because it was dangerous. You could get fucked up. You can get stabbed for bringing your fucking box out, playing some LL Cool J as hard as hell. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a time of skinheads and that shit was rampant.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we came up in a time it was fucking war, you know, just for us to fucking exist, dress hip hop. You know, people see us like, oh, these fucking guys with the baggy pants and the fuck those guys. And, you know, it was a very interesting time.
Well, and honestly, that's a battle that the younger people and, you know, white people should be showing appreciation for, man. Coming into it, you guys fought those fucking battles to make this culture what it is right now to a level where it's worldwide accepted. So, you know, I appreciate it anyways, man.
Everyone should appreciate it. You know what I mean? Everyone, all of the youngsters, because, you know, hip hop, it's one of the only musics where, you know, the younger generation isn't really trying to big up the older heads. And that's really where it's sort of, you know, where the disconnect lies, right? Because, you know, we got a lot to teach the youngsters and they got a lot to teach us.
Yeah.
Like when you were saying, you know, what does commercial success look like nowadays? I couldn't tell you. I would have to ask one of the youngsters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? One of the young bucks. I'd have to ask them what it looks like. You know, I'd have to ask them, and I do it, right? Yeah. My son, Ashton Forever, like I ask him all the time, what should I do with the content? It's not my bag.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying? I'm an OG and this shit is new. And this is another 10 pounds that has been put onto my back.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, okay, I need to navigate this shit because I don't love doing it because I'm a private person, dude.
Yeah.
And so I don't really do interviews like that.
Yeah.
Right. I do select interviews. So I'm doing an interview with you because you're a real motherfucker and you are who you say you are. Right.
Appreciate that, man.
And you're down for the culture and it's important what you're doing here. So yeah, I'm going to give you and the people some of my time because you deserve that. Right. Yeah. But more time. I don't give a fuck about a motherfucker's podcast. I'm doing music. Right. That's all I got. And that's all I'm doing.
There you go.
So,
man.
I mean, but, we keep it popping, man. We keep it tight,
Yeah.
And,
man.
Yeah.
Can I ask you another couple of these how important questions? How about how important is an emcee's fashion? I heard a bar actually on the last album there, that Hard Work Retroactive, where you said something about they're making it about fashion
for material satisfaction.
There you go. Yeah, you can remember it better than I could. But I heard it and I was like, oh, are they turning it into fashion? Because KRS-One tells us fashion's one of the elements too. So I don't know.
Well, okay, let me put that into context. So yeah, fashion. We are very fashionable as Black people, as fucking hip hoppers. As people that had to do more with less. So, you know, people think the baggy jeans is a style. It wasn't. It was this
Right.
motherfucker was wearing his jeans too baggy because he had 6 other motherfuckers that were sharing the same pair of pants.
Yeah, hand me
So
downs or
what
whatever
people,
else. Yeah,
right? So people think it's glorified. They think it's fashion, but what they think is fashion is rooted in pain
right.
and suffering. So you see King Jus and you see the lyrics and you hear the tunes and you're thinking, yo, this must be dope to be a rapper. And yeah, it is. But I've lost a lot of shit, dude.
Yeah.
I've lost a lot. You know, I've paid my dues and then some. You know what I'm saying? And you know, this is me. This is who I am. So I'm saying, like, you know, you got to just really be committed to self. You know what I'm saying? Committed to who you are and do what you want to do and put it out there. I mean, the fashion
it feels
itself.
like the fashion thing's been warped a little bit. Now everybody wants to be wearing fuck, oh, my Louis Vuitton belt or whatever the fuck, and rap about that shit, right?
Because it's that era. Like, it's always been fashionable. You know, motherfuckers rocking the gold chains and shit. It's always been about clout somewhat.
Right.
Right. But when it becomes more about clout and less about the art form, you know, that's when I got a problem with that. When I see a motherfucker that's wearing 80 grand around his neck, but his rap sound like bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You think I give a fuck if you have 100 million?
Yeah.
I got a line like that too. Even if you double platinum, I'll flatten them still. I don't give a shit, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We bring it to the mics. You know, shit. I was give a fuck what your name is, who the fuck you say you run with.
For real.
We ain't dealing with that. We're dealing with pranayama, mic skills. You got them or not? Can you string together a song and put a vision in somebody's head or not? And if you can't do it, you can't talk to King Jus. Don't even mention my name.
Beautiful. Beautiful. How important is working with one producer to develop a sound? I've worked with a lot of different young artists who tell me like, oh no, I don't want to just buy beats or find beats on YouTube. I want to, you know, either learn to make beats myself or work with one producer and develop a sound.
I think that depends on the individual because, for example, Fresh Kils, I met Fresh Kils when I was doing some work with Troupas, and he was working in a big studio, and I went to throw down a 16 there, and I met him, and from there, we just started parring and making music together and shit. And really, it started with me listening to what he had to offer.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of the shit that I like, he told me all that shit got chosen over. People are like, yeah, I don't know what I even fucking do with that.
Right.
Because, you know, it's not hard enough or whatever it was, right? But the musical shit and the shit that made me see his musical brilliance as a record producer,
yeah,
it's those beats that spoke to me. So my sound with him is sort of cultivated by him. I just choose what sort of works together that he brings forth. But I mean, you know, if you listen to the album, there's such a wide variety of beats. You got So What's It All About? It's like a big fucking headbanger mosh pit tune, you know, and then you got, you know, My Pen, which is, you know, a very laid back, fucking soft, you know. So it's a very vast musical palette. And you know, I just picked the beats that work with the shit that I have with him. Otherwise, we will make beats together. We haven't crafted any songs from the new beats that we've made together yet because we're still working on this other shit. And we did another single called Hold On.
Okay.
With Icy and my homie Ayamas.
Like Icy the One or whatever? Is that?
Yeah, Icy the One. She's singing the hook.
Nice.
Me and my homie Meyer Clarity wrote the hook. So this song, we shot a video for it. Adam Ellis, he put it all together.
Is that out right now, or is that?
Yeah, I think it's out. The Durham. We did it for the Durham Victims Association.
Okay.
Right, of the Victims Association of Durham Region, and I guess it's going to be in the schools all across Ontario. You know,
nice.
Song's called "Hold On." It's you know it's a upliftment song for the kids that are going through some shit. You know, for
Beautiful,
people that are going through some shit. You know, we try to give back. Yeah. Try to give that back to the community like that, and
music has gotten a lot of people through a lot of dark times, man. You can.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And that's why I make it, right? You know.
Beautiful.
But like I said, you can get it. You can get any type of tunes from me. You can get some party tunes. You can get some, you know, you can get some conscious tunes.
Speaking of a variety of your tunes, man, how important is it that music that you're making follows trends or is relevant to the current trends?
I don't follow trends. I'm too old for that shit.
There you go.
You know, I'm in the lane I'm in. I've made my lane. I'm comfortable in it. You know, my lane is me. So I can't be anybody else because everyone else is already taken. You know what I'm saying? So I just be myself, stay in my own lane, stick to the shit that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Right. When I could play a song and see a kid, one of my tunes, and a kid bump into it, and I'm like, yeah, and their parents are like, oh, there's no cursing in this song. I'm like, yeah, man. So not to say that I don't curse, but I don't try
Doesn't
to
have
make
to be
it
every song though.
yeah, I don't make it an excessive point to curse. You know, sometimes I'll curse if I need to get my point across. But in real life, I'm not cursing every 2 minutes, so I'm not gonna really do it on a track because it's a trend or whatever. I don't.
Makes sense.
That's not my thing. But hey, if a man, some people, again, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
But some people have mastered the trend.
Right.
They'll do it. They drop something that's trendy. They're on to the next thing. And guess what? All that shit's hitting. I ain't mad at them.
Here's a random question. Would you ever rhyme on a trap beat? Yeah. Have you ever tried rhyming on?
I'd rhyme on any beat. I got some trap beats that I have produced that I've spit. I'd rap on anything because me.
That's the way I feel too, man. I think an MC should be able to be versatile. It's all just rhythm and drums. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't buy into the trap versus hip hop. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Before these men called it traps, these triplets and shit, we're using it.
It's all the same umbrella,
from
right?
Cubase way back in the day. Like, you know, stop trying to separate. Stop trying to divide and conquer the culture from itself, right? It's hip hop music. Whatever you want to call it, it's hip hop.
Yeah,
right? You want to brand it as that type of hip hop. Cool, but don't try to, you know,
call it a different thing. It's still hip hop. Yeah,
yeah, it's still hip hop. So you know, let's dispel all of that bullshit.
100%, man. How about this? Do you feel lucky to be in Toronto? Like, how important is an artist's physical location?
No, hell no.
No?
Toronto doesn't show enough love to itself.
Okay.
They're trying to be everybody else, but you know, I mean, only with Drake's success did Canada really get a flashlight put on it, and you know.
But just as an artist in general, is it important to be from, you know, Toronto, or do you think the guys in Edmonton they should have just as much of a shot? Because a lot of guys that I knew moved from Edmonton to Vancouver or to Toronto.
Where was Pat Stay? Where was Pat Stay from? R.I.P. Pat Stay.
I think Halifax originally, wasn't he? Yeah.
Okay, so I don't. All of that.
Halifax has a pretty good hip hop scene, though. You know,
that's what I'm saying.
I had to choose
Uncle Fester's out in Halifax. Big up Uncle Fester. He's out in Halifax.
Yeah.
Listen, the dude is crushing.
Halifax.
The dude's crushing beats.
Yeah.
The dude's crushing beats. Think you fucking give a shit if he's in Halifax? He's crushing beats. You can't. You know you can't question his skill level.
Right.
And that's all we're dealing with here.
That's
right?
what it's about, whether you're from Saskatoon or Halifax.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Practitioners at the highest level, and we recognize when other people have the thing, are on the level, are working the thing and doing the thing.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit where they're from. You know what I'm saying? Toronto has good MCs, has a lot of fucking MCs too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, I don't give a shit.
How about this, man? How important is opening for big name rappers when they come through town? You mentioned, you know, back in the day that you had opened for some big acts.
Always good when you got a tight show.
Yeah.
Always good when you got a tight show. Never good if you're gonna go up there on some bullshit. Right. I mean, we did the Necro open when Just Entertainment brought Necro, and DJ Anonymous was my tour DJ at that time, and the people were nuts outside of Opera House from 7 o'clock at night. Necro, going buck wild, bro. And you know, some man got on stage to open. They threw some fucking Heineken bottles at them and shit, right? And then Brent shows up. He's like, "Yo, Just, you're on next, eh?" I'm like, "What?"
Good luck. Yeah.
I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Do better than that guy.
Be on in an hour. He goes, "Justice, you're on next." Shoot, he's gone. So he goes, "Oh, you ready?" So we go out there, and I start yelling at them. What's going? And then they just get crazy, and you know, it was a great fucking show at the end of it. But you know,
beautiful, yeah,
scary shit.
How important is having a DJ? You just mentioned having a DJ, and earlier you were talking about a different DJ. Important for the stage show?
Yeah, because it's that element of hip hop, the MC and the DJ, that can't be separated, right?
Yeah.
And you know, it's, for me, I need it. You know, other people may not. And if I'm not with a DJ, I'm probably with Kills.
Right.
You know, like if verse isn't available, I'm probably gonna give Kills. Even like for my new album, I'll probably give him the fucking beats, whatever it is, and then I'll rock the shit with him because he's not a DJ, but he's
Still in the same role. He's
he
able to
becomes that element, right? So
if you need a beat stretched out or whatever, he can do it live on the fly, I'm sure. And exactly.
Having a DJ, very important, you know, to play your shit, to sort of mix your shit, you know. I think it's important because I'm coming from that, you know.
Yeah. All right, man. 2 more of these how important questions for you, and then I'll let you out of here. Cool. How important is having a manager for an indie artist?
That's a tough one as well because it depends on what you consider a manager, right? Like if it's a manager that's just your homie and they don't really have any knowledge of the business, they don't really have any knowledge of publishing or even how to get money for your music in Canada where you should be registered, like, you know, if that's the manager, then you don't need it, you know. But if you're going to get a manager that is even willing to learn those things as they're working with you, then that's dope. But I find a lot of times we got to be our own manager. You know, people get used to this idea of having a team.
Right.
You know, I hear this a lot from my son and shit too, right? Oh, dad, the team.
So
like,
important to have a team. Yeah, the internet.
And I get it. I get it. I'm not going to say no. But before you get a team, you have to be able to run some things consistently yourself so that you can put somebody in place to then build your team, because a team is only as good as its leader. And if you don't really have anything to offer them, your team is going to plummet pretty quickly.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you need to have something sustainable that, you know, you can give people to do, but you need to know how to do it yourself. And why wouldn't you know how to do it yourself?
Yeah.
Right. What business, you know, somebody that owns a restaurant, you know, are they going to give the code to the fucking janitor? It's like, probably not, right? They're going to learn their own business. They're going to get in there, out of there, and, you know, they're going to do their thing. But I mean, same thing with the music, man. You got to take control of the business, you know, take control of your fucking destiny, press some records, you know, put out bodies of work. Singles are dope. You know, I'm not saying don't do the singles, but when you put out a body of work, you have so many singles. You know, if I put out a 16-track album and I get it all mixed and mastered, I now have 16 potential singles that are already mixed and mastered. I don't got to go and now pay to mix and master each single that I'm going to be making pennies on. So it's really, we're running a business here.
Yeah.
Right. And the hip hop has become a business. So, you know, if anything, I would say that's the biggest thing that I've learned on this newer run of me sort of reinventing myself, right? And I say that because, you know, a lot of motherfuckers don't know me from back then, and I don't expect them to.
Sure.
Right. So I brand myself sort of as a new artist. Sure, I showed them what was going on, but I don't hang my hat on opening for fucking, you know, KRS-One or whatever, like 15 fucking years ago, right? This is the new time. This is the new shit. So, you know, reinventing, keeping the shit going, trying to learn some new things, like I said, from the youngsters, trying to show them some things, because some things we don't agree on, right? Like, you know, like my son especially, he's like, yeah, dad, I don't know if, you know, you don't need to really mull over everything like that. Like, you should just be way quicker, you know, just do the song and then just put it out. Put out like 5 songs for the week or whatever. I'm like, yeah, you could do that. But when you look at the other side and you see what it takes to properly service a single,
right,
so that the college radio is playing it in Canada and at least you could see some fruits of your labor, you know, then why are you going to do it again? You're running a business, and would you do that for any other business? You know what I mean? You're not going to be shooting in the dark because your business is going to close. You got to do shit that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I think a lot of these guys that are just getting into it now, they've come up watching guys like Extentation or whatever, and like guys like that who were doing, you know, straight to SoundCloud, drop freestyles, right, you know, just putting 2-minute long songs together and dropping those or whatever. So yeah, they come in
and that's what I mean. If this is what they're seeing and this is working, then who am I to say it's not the right thing? I'm just saying, for me, I know how I got to put my shit together, and I know how I look at business. You know, I was running restaurants and shit, right? So I was general managing like a few restaurants. So I know when I'm looking at a spreadsheet and putting the numbers together and seeing what the projection is. So, you know, use the music same way. And that's what I'm saying. The merch, very important to have the merch. Book your own shows, artists, make those relationships, make relationships with other artists that are, you know, in your genre, or maybe not exactly in it, but maybe, you know, you get a singer that sings over some dope hip hop beats. Yo, big up Ghost Boy RJ.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? He has an artist named Faralea. You know, wicked combination. They played with us at the Street Fest too. Ghost Boy RJ.
Nice. Yeah, I've been playing some of his music on that too.
Yeah, he's coming up nice. So, you know, again, like, you know, I feel blessed to be able to, you know, still have my ear to the street and still know these young kids that are making fire beats and doing some dope shit. Like, it's blessed, right? And that's what it is. It's about the OGs showing love to the younger generation and us sort of sharing the parallels, because we have a lot that we could teach each other. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, and you mentioned even learning from like your son and the youth too. I think it's real important, that old like cliche about how you should have people you look up to, peers, and then people who look up to you, and that should be your circle, right? You can take, there's things to learn from all those people, right? So
can always learn. We're always learning every day. We know no one man knows everything.
Yeah, definitely,
right?
man.
So,
okay, so last one of these, how important? How important is finding or having the right romantic partner for an artist?
that one's got me stumped, y'all.
That one's deep,
I am the worst. I am the worst man to give relationship advice. It hasn't gone too well for me like that. But I think I would say when it was working for me with the relationship, that the other individual understood that that's who I am, and they didn't expect me to change too much of who I was, as long as I was taking care of what I need to take care of, still do my thing, not expecting, you know, to now get 9 hours of my day when they know that, okay, well, it's beat making for 4 hours from.
You got to do a podcast and some motherfucker wants to talk to you for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But, you know, some people, they don't really respect it. Other times, you know, you have these, you got these chicks or men, you know, either way, that they're attracted to the lifestyle of what they think they're looking at.
Right.
You know, they think they're looking at, you know, someone that's super successful in the music, and they're going to parties.
It's going to be a party.
Rubbing shoulders with all these people, and they want to be part of that lifestyle. And really, you know, that's not really what it is. That's just like the glitz and the glamour.
It's a lot of behind the scenes work and fucking grinding away by yourself doing shit.
It's not pretty, man. Grinding is not pretty. Like, it's not.
For real.
It's not fucking fun. But the end result is fun. Bringing the finished product to the people and getting a chance to perform it and share it and sort of like give the energy and receive the energy and be on stage and, like, you know, control that crowd and like party with them and, like, you know, just have some, you know, peace, unity, love, and having fun, man.
Oh yeah, man. That's what it's all about, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so last couple questions as we close this out. Can you describe the Toronto hip hop scene? I ask everybody I talk to describe their local scene, because it just opens the door.
I would describe it as fragmented.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
There's certain pockets, and, you know, hey, I watch the YouTube stories about, you know, some of these hood mans that have sort of got big, and I love that, man. I love the youths taking control, and we all know the hood is rough. I came up in the hood, like, you know, most of us who came up in the hood. So any youth that can come up out of the hood and make something for themselves, I ain't hating on them.
Everybody loves that underdog story, man.
Yeah. But again, their reality isn't my reality.
Yeah.
Right. And nor do I want it to be my reality. So I'm not hating on them. They do their thing. I love it. Do your thing, but that's not my thing. Right. And you know, that's really all I could say. I would call it fragmented, because there's no real
crossover between those two lanes, at least from where I'm standing.
It's getting better now. I think in the beat maker community, that's less true. I think there's more of that support and that, you know, sort of that linking up between the beat makers. Like, I've been to a few beat shows, Pattern Select and shit, and just the support and fire beat makers, you know, Ice Cold Fingers. That's the next, like, ill producer coming out of Toronto, you know what I'm saying? Check him on IG, Ice Cold Fingers. yeah, so I mean, there's some definite talent to look
Beautiful.
for
So
in Toronto, but I would describe it, the rap scene as somewhat fragmented and somewhat now lost, because like what's the direction for the drill shit now? Like what's going on, you know? I don't know. But I can't,
yeah.
I'm making independent thinker music, man, so I don't even know.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say I can't comment either. I mean, I listen to that stuff every week. I listen to their new drops, and sometimes I find stuff that I like. But
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, it's not my life, so it's I'm just kind of an outsider watching that whole scene.
Yeah, and that's their thing, and they got their thing, and that's cool. And really, that's what hip hop is.
Yeah,
When we first came out just doing our thing, people hated it same way, right? Like, so whatever it is, like this is their brand of hip hop. I'm not gonna shit on them and say, oh no, like whatever. Hey, if
yeah.
I don't like it, I don't like it. They might not like my shit. They don't have to.
I never ask anybody to shit on any other artist, because I think the artist community just needs more unity and love, and more spotlight being shared. So one thing
Yeah,
I do
man.
ask everybody is, who's some other artists from your scene people should be up on, in your opinion?
Well, definitely Raz Fresco.
Yeah,
You know, I would say Meyer Clarity as well.
yeah.
He's doing some dope shit. I See the One, also dope. Uh, I would also say Ghost Boy's artist,
Ghost Boy RJ. Yeah.
Faralia.
Okay.
Check that out. Ashton Forever.
That's a
All
new
right,
name for me. Okay.
yeah, my big boy, my big son, Ashton Forever. He's ill, dude.
You mean he's
tearing
your
the shit
actual
up.
son?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Pull him
okay.
up.
So you got
Pull him up, Ashton. Yeah,
artists coming up under you. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful, man.
He's doing a small tour. I think he did Mississauga last night, and they're doing. Fuck, I better check the flyer. He's got a show tonight and a show tomorrow too. So
Beautiful.
yeah, he's doing that. So that's how I sort of keep my ear to the street, and I see the trends of what sort of the youngsters are doing and who they're following, and how their mentality about the music and making it. For us, we never stepped in the booth until we know the song.
Right.
Right. There wasn't this getting in there and doing this and cutting and then do this clip.
Freestyle and punch in. Yeah.
Right. So when I was exposed to that with my boy, because I was recording him, and he's like, yeah, Dad. I'm like, I'm fucking dying in the chair thinking, holy fuck, dude, this is taking forever. But then I was like, you know what, Justice, back off. Like, this isn't for you.
Right.
This isn't for you. This is how they do their shit.
Yeah.
Record the fucking 9 takes and get it moving.
Right? Yeah, so there you go. Comp it together afterwards.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, man, I see how you guys do it. Okay, that's how you get your melodies. And she goes, yeah, Dad, that's easier for me. I'm like, yeah, that's okay. Let's do it like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's that, just having that respect of their process as well. Like, we lived our time. We did what we did. We carried it how we carried it. And we can't carry it forever. People can find us through the music, but eventually we got to pass the torch.
Well, just being open-minded goes so far, man. To see somebody doing a different technique and think like, well, maybe I could fucking try that sometime or whatever. Like, well, I bet I could come up with a hook if I just jump in there and freestyle some shit. Like, yeah, there's definitely stuff to learn there too, man. Right?
Yeah. And it's happened to me too. I've been like, oh, you know what? That's kind of cool. Like, maybe I should try to do some of these choruses that are more melodic, like these guys are doing it. And so I take little pointers for them too. Like, yeah, I could maybe add that onto my shit and polish my shit up a little too.
What I will say is, guys who get used to doing punch-ins, they need to also make sure that they do some rehearsals and practice before they get on stage, because if you haven't figured out how to rap a full verse yet, sometimes that breath control element can be very tricky, right? And even as far as like, oh, you're punching in and you kind of come in under your own vocal a little bit, right? With the next bar or whatever. And so like when you go on stage, it's like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be saying 2 words at the same time here. Like, so the live element can be tricky. Yeah.
Pranayama is the key.
Pranayama. You got to tell me about what that means, man. What is pranayama?
The science of breath control.
Okay. So I'll look into that.
So like, so there's, so I would do like, I would do certain exercises. So I would just take a walk and just go through the lyrics. So I have my headphones on. I'll just take a walk, and then I'll walk a bit faster, rap the lyrics, right? And then see, it just helps you get the breath control. You get the whole song in,
Hey,
it's motion. So you're walking, and then, you try it with a little light jog, right? So if you can go through the song, you don't have to breathe through your fucking mouth. You're like, then like you're not really ready for. You're not ready for.
I didn't realize I was practicing pranayama, but I needed to make some content to promote the new EP or whatever a couple of weeks ago, and I was out hiking. We went fucking hiking. Waterton is a couple hours away from here, so we were hiking up a mountain, and I was like, what if I just point my camera at myself and see if I can rap a cappella, do an a cappella verse as I go up this fucking mountain?
I seen you.
Yeah,
I seen you going through it. I seen you going through the mountains. I was like, yo, dude, this is the shit.
I tried that a couple times, and when I tried it the first time, I was like, oh, okay, this is. I'm panting already just walking up the hill. So then you add being able to rap your bars at the same time and project.
And, yeah. And I would try then smoking a big head, rapping the lyrics and holding the smoke down, and then just letting it out in between, in between words. And then keep rapping it, and then until I could just, and you know what? Talking to you right now, my album is untitled. I think I'm gonna call it Pranayama.
Hey, I like that, man. Dope. There it is.
Help me coin the phrase, Doobyis. See what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just here vibing.
That's
I don't want to tell you how long I've been thinking of what to call my album. 23 tracks in, and I don't got a name. but now.
Beautiful, man. I like that. So is pranayama is that a meditation technique or like
just the science of breath, control?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
He just teaches you to control that breath, how to breathe.
Just the words, it sounds like it's like, a yoga practice or like
it's a yoga practice, breathing, so when to take the breath, how far down to hold the breath, and how many words you can expend before you actually have to use the extra breath.
Yeah.
So there's a breath, and then there's another breath that you have access to, depending on how well you do with the first breath.
Yeah. That's
where you see guys gassing on stage.
Yeah, right. I was thinking about the other day as I walked through the mall, man. Anytime I hear somebody cough or sneeze, if I'm in a crowd, I just automatically now start breathing real shallow. I'm like, I don't want whatever that motherfucker has. So like, I can just walk for fucking, I'm walking through a place and barely breathe for the next 4 minutes because there's some filthy motherfuckers around me or whatever, right?
Yeah, you never know. Be careful.
Yeah.
Be careful, Doobyis. Be careful.
Oh yeah. I don't want my lungs ruined. So yeah. Anyways, any plans for tours or shows that we can plug coming up? Any?
Well, I'll just be getting the album ready, and I have a single ready called WGC, World Gone Crazy.
Nice. Send that my way if you want to let me leak that on ATSIC maybe a week early or whatever. I'd love to.
I'll send you an exclusive for show. Oh, and I got a couple drops I got to do for you still.
I think you sent some through. Too. No, you and Kils did one for me. I got one.
Yeah, I think you might need another one for WGC though.
Sure. Yeah.
You might need
the more the better. Yeah, the more the better.
You might need one for the World Gone Crazy.
Well, and especially now that DJ Dice is doing the mixes for me, I need people saying DJ Dice's name. He's been cutting them up lately, and he does stuff DJ with those Dice. Drops that I cannot do. So
okay, dope. Yeah. We gotta make sure we work DJ Dice in there.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, man. And then I got another single called Roll Up, and then I have a third single, and then I got 23 tracks, adding more every day. Oh, 24. I have another one with I Am Us and Logic 416 that I gotta record.
Are those local cats? I don't recognize those names.
Yeah, Logic 416 is coming from Stolen from Africa.
Okay.
Which was a real big underground hip hop group from Toronto. Unknown Misery, shouts to Unknown Misery and Logic.
Unknown Misery, I've seen that name around. Yeah,
because he's down with Babylon Warchild. Shout out Babylon Warchild. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and that's what it is, right? It's like it's dope. It just spreads around everywhere, and See,
this is the thing is there's all these names I play. I've played Babylon Warchild. I've played Unknown Misery on ATSIC. But until I talk to guys like you, I don't necessarily know where those guys fall into the picture, what groups people are in, you know, like the
Yo, dude,
history, right? So
yeah, we're just floating around in the ether, man.
yeah.
I think Unknown Misery is in Asia now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Doing some shit over there. So like, people,
It's worldwide, man. Worldwide.
we're in the ether, man. You'll see us online. Come see our shows.
Yeah,
Catch us at a brick and mortar building near you at some point.
Hell yeah. What's the best way, actually, off of that? What's the best way for people to support you or other artists who they like, man?
Yo, buy my shit off Bandcamp.
There you go.
Till my website is done. Anything direct sales is blessed. Any King Just mentioned, like, I appreciate it all, man. I'm here for y'all. You know what I mean? So
where are you most active on social media? Where can people catch up?
IG, TikTok, King Just Hip Hop.
King Jus.
I had to change my name from just King Just, since so many King Just have
Everybody
popped up.
wants to wear the crown, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like, and that was another thing, right? People thought that King Just was a rap name, and they had no idea that it's not a rap name. It's an attribute. It's an attribute
So that's that 5%er shit then, right?
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about. Okay.
It's my true and living attribute from the nation of gods and earth, peace to the gods and earth. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of confusion, I guess, in the early days. People were like, "Oh, King Just," or like, you and him have the same name. I'm like, no, but we are from the same family, and you don't understand what you're even looking at. So let's stop the conversation here. But no, it's Just, which is short for justice, and there's no T. It's not Juice. Yeah. It's not, what I'm saying? It's not a rap name. And, but to make a long story short, I've seen a lot of King Just popping up, and, I would like to know if they have lessons. I'd like to know if they have 120, or if or if they're down with the 5% nation. Yeah, if they know the lessons and that's how they got their attribute, then let's build. You know what I mean? But if not, then, sort of like a man just wearing dreadlocks for fashion, but doesn't really know what they're about, the Rasta man thing. You can wear the fashion if you want, but
hey, what do you think about white guys with dreadlocks?
Hey, I think anybody that's down with peace, unity, and love, and anybody that's dedicated their life to that, whether they say they're a Rasta man, they're a white man with dreadlocks, they're showing me love, and they're living by the principles of the Rastafari in them. Then hey, I'm not here to hate on nobody. I'm not here to.
I've just always seen that, debate online or whatever, and people hate on it.
Unless you know how the man's living, if the man's doing good deeds, and then hey, if a man calls himself a Christian and he's killing fucking 7,000 kids, are we gonna, who's talking to him about whether he's real or not?
Right.
I say leave the poor white guy with his dreadlocks that's trying to be fucking peaceful. Right. And likes reggae music and just wants to smoke 2 spliffs. Like, let's not put that guy in the same category as fucking Justin Trudeau, who's putting blackface on.
There you go. Right? Yeah, hell yeah. I like that, dude. Man, this has been a good talk. I really appreciate you coming through to drop.
Always. It was good chopping it up with you, man. Doobyis.
Hell yes. Appreciate you, man. Love and respect.
I got some exclusives for you, man. All the time.
Dude, looking forward to hearing them. Even if it's just music that I'm not supposed to play, I like hearing stuff and giving feedback or whatever. That's what the community's about, man. That's what we're.
I got a lot of exclusives for you, man. I'm gonna see you again, man. We'll link up, yeah.
All right, man. It's been
love
fun.
and honor, man. Thanks for having me on, bro. Yo, hip hop community, big up. Check me out, King Just Hip Hop. You know what I'm saying? Big up my team, Fresh Kils, DJ Versatile. You know what I'm saying? Hip Hop Nation, stand up. I am us. We out of here.
Yes, love and respect, man. Peace. All right, everybody. So that was King Jus. I really had a good time talking to him. I hope people appreciated some of the knowledge he was dropping for us there. Make sure you go check out his music. It's up on streaming, easy to find. He said he's got the website coming, so make sure you stay tapped in. Find him on social media. He's definitely active over on Instagram, King Jus Hip Hop. And we've got a few more interviews coming up on Tuesday. I'm talking to Imperative, and then next Saturday I'm talking to Donnie Sage and Alchemy the Linguist. So after that, I will have completed June with 2 interviews every week. It's been a lot, the workload like Jus was just talking about there, it's been a lot of behind the scenes that I don't think people know goes on, but holy have I been spending a lot of time chopping clips, and there's no end in sight. So if you like seeing clips with various different artists, you know, talking about their opinions on hip hop from various different angles, come through on my Instagram. You can find me over there, Doobyis, Doobyis, and then there's an underscore after it because some jackass took my name over there for their fucking cat to have an account. Their cat is named Doobie. So shouts to Doobie the cat, I guess, but I should have never changed my IG handle in the first place because now I can't get it back no matter what I do or how little those people post. I can't get that handle back. Anyways, it's been fun. Thanks for coming through, everybody on Twitch. These things happen Tuesdays on Twitch most of the time through June, also Saturdays. I'm going to take July off. I'll probably be back either in August or September, depending how my summer unfolds and what beach I find to relax on. But always new mixes of After the Smoke is Clear up on mixcloud.com/Doobyis. We're going to keep those going through July. We're going to keep those going forever and ever and ever and ever.